Hi there! Before we continue our discussion in this video, let us briefly recall the lesson that we discussed about how to evaluate narratives based on how the author developed the elements such as the characters, the setting, the theme, and the point of view. There are narrative techniques used in delivering plot. When we listen to a story being told, we would like to know what happened till the end and know the events or the plot in the story. This lesson highlights the evaluation of narratives based on how the author developed the elements in plot, such as chronological sequential, in medias res, and flashback. Remember, when we say narrative, it is the account of events, experiences, and details of a story. It is a series of events which lead to an understanding of a story. And when we say exposition, it is the introduction to a story, including the primary characters' names, setting, mood, and time. The conflict is the primary problem that drives the plot of the story, often a main goal for the protagonist to achieve or overcome. One example of an exposition is a narrator explaining the setting and situation of the characters. If you wish to write a composition in a story, remember these 7 ways. First, build a specific scenario. Second, set up vivid place and time. Third, reveal intriguing character details. Fourth, introduce engaging voices. Fifth, evoke precise tone and mood. Sixth, create bold, inciting incidents. And last, introduce important conflict. It is also important for the readers to know that the exposition is the background information on the characters and setting explained at the beginning of the story. The exposition will often have information about the events that happened before the story began. Now let us go back to the plot of the story. When we say plot, it is a sequence of related events in the story. It is generally constituted by 3 main stages: the beginning, climax, and ending. In this part of the lesson, this will primarily focus on the 3 ways on how to evaluate narratives. The first one is chronological sequential. Chronological sequential is a narrative technique in which the story has beginning, middle, and end. The events are explicitly stated from the exposition to resolution. Let's have an example of chronological sequential. The rehearsal dinner will be on Friday night. Afterward, we are hoping that many of the guests will help to clean the area for tomorrow's wedding. In these sentences, the transition afterward highlights a chronology of events. First, the dinner, then the cleaning. The second one is in medias res. In medias res is a narrative technique in which the story starts in the middle without exposition. The example of in medias res is Homer's narrative poem entitled The Iliad. Within the first lines of this poem, the reader is dropped directly into the ongoing events of the Trojan War, seeing the action unfold between the warring Greeks and Trojans. There's kidnapping, bribery, plagues, and death, all contained within the initial first scenes. And the third one is the flashback. Flashback is a narrative technique in which the story has an interruption of the current story to show a scene from the past. Take a look at the example of flashback in the story. A woman is about to get married. As she puts on her veil, she remembers her fiancé 3 years before, swearing he would make her his wife someday. A tear comes to her eye and she prepares to walk down the aisle. Here, the flashback is the memory of the woman's fiancé 3 years before. So once again, the three types of plot are chronological sequential, in medias res, and flashback. Now, let's have this practice. You are going to write whether it is chronological sequential, in medias res, or flashback. First, what narrative technique is used when the story has beginning, middle, and end? Second, what narrative technique is used when the story starts in the middle or climax without exposition? Third, what narrative technique is used when the story has an interruption of the current story to show a scene from the past? Four, it is referred to as in the middle of the things. Identify the narrative techniques used in each narration. Fifth, when she woke up that afternoon with a headache, Juice could only remember two things. One, someone had broken into her home, and though that person had not been alone. Sixth, Lisa bikes on Sundays. She studies on Mondays. She swims on Tuesdays. Seventh, Rosa was already cooking when power was cut. She remembers how she and her dad would cook in a camp. She was able to finish cooking using firewood. Eight, bring the rain. Soldiers were everywhere. Warfare against the rebels began. Civilians were rescued and kept in safe places. Ninth, JK lined up with the other runners. All were determined and excited for JK. Suddenly, it was last year again, and he was telling the coach that he had to drop out of the team because of his illness. And last, it is Hobby's birthday. He prepared homemade burgers and his favorite drink, Sprite. Hobby enjoyed the simple treat that he made. Now if you're done, let the teacher check your work. Good luck! And that ends our discussion for this topic. I'm Teacher Calai. Please do not forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe for more updated videos and learnings on my channel.